Ladies and gentlemen, the police officer ordered for the killing of Albert Ojwang has already been revealed, and the police officers who actually committed the heinous act of assaulting and killing blogger Albert Ojwang have also been revealed. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the Star newspaper, the senior police officer was there when Albert Ojwang was being assaulted to coma. And ladies and gentlemen, that is actually going to form the basis of our analysis. In this analysis, I just want to actually let you know some of the shocking revelations that the Star newspaper has exposed according to the blogger Albert Ojwang's death. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, when Albert Ojwang was picked from their home in Homa Bay County, he was transported up to Nairobi Central Police Station where he was booked.
We have told that he was brought to Nairobi because the crime was committed in Nairobi. Is social media Nairobi?
And later that evening, Albert Ojwang was actually taken and bundled into a private vehicle up to Karura Forest. And it is in Karura Forest, ladies and gentlemen, that Albert Ojwang was actually assaulted and kicked and beaten by the police officers who were actually there. And one shocking revelation, ladies and gentlemen, the senior-most police officer who was there was the one who actually ordered for his beating, for more revelations to be made by Albert Ojwang. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, before Albert Ojwang was arrested, he actually made a post, and that post was actually targeting a senior police officer. And it was actually a corruption case. And that is the reason as to why our main person of interest is the complainant in that particular case. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, after Albert Ojwang was actually beaten in Karura Forest, he was left unconscious, and those police officers transported him back to Nairobi Central Police Station to the cell where he was actually found dead. Ladies and gentlemen, in this analysis, I just want to let you know that the police officers are actually playing with the minds of Kenyans. When Albert was actually removed, the CCTV cameras in that particular police station captured everything. And when Albert Ojwang was actually returned back unconscious in Nairobi Central Police Station, the CCTV footage captured everything. And evidence is now out that the CCTV footage has been deleted, and it was actually deleted.
The key findings: 1, that the CCTV systems located at OCS office had been interfered with.
And that is very suspicious. Ladies and gentlemen, during a routine checkup, the police officers said that they found Albert Ojwang unconscious in the police cell. And when he was rushed to Mbagathi Hospital, he was actually confirmed dead. And that is also a foul play by the police. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, after blogger Albert Ojwang died, the police officers released a statement, and that was actually not true.
It is not true. He did not hit his head against the wall, but that is the report that we had from the word go. I tell my apology on behalf of the National Police Service because of that information.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to the report that has been released by IPOA, Albert Ojwang was killed, and he had several head injuries, neck compression, and several soft tissue injury. That is out of the autopsy result that was actually conducted.
Compression and multiple subcutaneous bruises all over the body. This, Honorable Speaker, the autopsy report and our preliminary investigation rule out the theory of suicide.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a lot of outrage from the citizens of Republic of Kenya according to Albert Ojwang's death.
Huyu mzee mnaona hapa ndiye ana hiyo kikundi ya mamluki. Kabisa. Ana kikundi ya mamluki.
3 suspects have been arrested in connection to the murder or to the death of blogger Albert Ojwang. The first suspect, ladies and gentlemen, is this police officer known as James Mukwana, who is a police constable in Nairobi Central Police Station. The second person who was arrested was the guy who actually deleted the CCTV footage to conceal the evidence. And the third guy who has been arrested and who is now being treated as the prime suspect in that murder is the OCS of Nairobi Central Police Station, Samson Talaam. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans are actually saying that these are not the prime suspects in the murder of Albert Ojwang, and the complainant is actually the prime suspect. And Kenyans have actually been calling for the arrest of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Eliud Langat, who actually was the main complainant in this particular case. And that is the reason as to why in Kenya right now, there is actually a lot of tension. Ladies and gentlemen, I know very well that William Samoei Ruto, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, is actually aware of what happened. He has all the intelligence information pertaining to the murder of Albert Ojwang, and he knows actually the person who actually committed that murder. And why is it that William Samoei Ruto is actually reluctant to fire the Deputy Inspector General whom he actually appointed himself? Why is he reluctant? In Kenya, there have been a lot of cases of police extrajudicial killings. And you can also remember very well that during last year's Gen Z's protests, police officers actually killed and abducted many Kenyans. And this incident, ladies and gentlemen, has just revealed to Kenya that these police officers were actually the people who are conducting these activities, who are killing the Gen Zs, the youth, who are actually abducting the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, the act of Albert Ojwang being killed in the police custody is very bad.
You are punishing that old mzee who was crying over his only child. What did that mzee do to you?
Mtoto wangu ni mtoto mmoja, hakuna msichana, hakuna mvulana hata nyuma yake.
Kenyans are very angry with what the police did to Albert Ojwang, and that is the reason as to why there is a lot of tension in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all for now. This is Alois TV. In the event you have any other opinion in the comment section, just drop your thoughts and I'll do my best to read and to respond to it. Without further ado, let's just meet in the next one.